Hello, Nostalgia Trap listeners. I'm David Parsons. Here is a quick preview of this week's Gender Trap episode with Yasmin Nair. We talk about gossip and gender and power, specifically as related to Mad Men, but also in the larger world of Johnny Depp, Amber Heard, Harvey Weinstein, Me Too, etc. This was a really intense conversation. I very much enjoyed it. You can listen to all of these episodes of Gender Trap as part of a Nostalgia Trap subscription, and you can do that at patreon.com/nostalgiatrap.
Also, this is really exciting for me. I love gossiping about gossip. But Ed Koch, the New York Times, finally, after years of not going there for 101 different reasons, finally does this long-ass profile of Ed Koch's homosexual life.
Yeah.
And everyone I know is like, first of all, motherfuckers, we knew. Everyone knew. But secondly, in the gay community, the responses I'm seeing are, this mofo killed a bunch of gays with his refusal to actually act upon the AIDS, on the AIDS crisis. There is no need to go back and rescue his gay life, right? So there's this whole, and that was gossip. That was constant gossip while he was mayor, after he was mayor.
And he was horrified of people finding out, right? So it's like
terrified.
They have the character Sal in the first episode of Mad Men, who they kind of communicate very broadly is a closeted gay guy. And they're going to do more of that on the show. But here's another example. It just seems like the show is hitting you on the head again and again with this idea of like, these people are all performing and they're deeply performing. Like they're really like their public selves are like extremely distant from their real selves, and that's going to be the source of a lot of the tension in this office and in this world.
Right, which is why I think taking the formal psychoanalyst, the woman, the German expert on psychoanalysis, taking her out of the picture was the best thing they could have done.
Yeah,
because it allows the show. Yeah, it's too obvious, and it allows the show instead to really to really demonstrate how this whole show is really about fractured selves and is really about, and yes, it is about the death wish. What the hell else is Don Draper going through? And It gets worse for him, right, through the series until he doesn't even have one breaking point. He has multiple breaking points. I think the first one we see is when he goes to California and then disappears.
Yeah.
With this lot of Euro trash, if you'll forgive the term. And he just kind of disappears. And it's only because he is Don Bloody Draper that he's like, no one questions this even. Don's disappeared. Where is Don? Like, can you imagine that even happening today? Unless you were, I don't know, some incredibly desirable entity. It just could not happen.
There would be a lot of gossip about sort of what is the reason behind the disappearance.
And the funny thing is, most people, there are tentative bits of gossip about him, but it's almost like no one even dares to gossip about Don Draper. They'll gossip about everyone else, but Draper's life, for some reason, even though he disappears in the middle of the day to go fuck his girlfriend.
Well, he's kind of like a weirdly unknowable guy. I think that's part of the engine of our interest throughout the show is sort of like, where is this guy? Like, where's the authentic self? And I don't know if
which is what I think the show is about, right? And I think that ultimately, and I think that's why I think the show's, the embeddedness from the start, it is of course about the advertising world, the Mad Men, the Madison Men, Mad Men of this particular era. But I think it makes complete sense that it is about advertising, right? This constant disjunction between reality and desire.
Totally. Yeah.
Which is, the thing where he does the carousel, the Kodak carousel ad, for instance. And I think you pointed this out, or did I read this somewhere? But, the fact that he's just come from a scene where it's clear that his own family is pretty much shattered. His two children, no one really loves each. I think he's on the verge of a divorce. But then he comes into this room and he gives you this, to them, beautiful advertisement. The carousel is this holder of memories. And then he has all these pictures of his own family, which is brutal. When you think about what is he uses, And he's aware of that. And he's also not averse to using that. So in a sense, he is the ultimate consummate advertising man.
And he knows that Betty and the kids are an advertisement.
Right, exactly.
Right?
Thank you. That is so perfect.
Yeah.
Yes,
I
perfect.
mean, that's what I'm hearing
Betty
from you.
certainly is. Betty certainly is. Yes.
If we're talking about like the gender trap